Hey everybody, so welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. So today what I kind of want to do is give you a little progress update, kind of show you what all's been happening in the garden. We did get about 3-4 inches of rain yesterday, but I wanted to talk to you about a few of the things that we've either been successful so far with or not. First off, I want to show you this. It's just sad. Used to be a tomato plant right here, but a cutworm got it. So now I will tell you that cutworms usually will go for the smaller plants like this and knock them off. And if you come out in the evening time, oftentimes you can catch them at their work if you have a problem. Now all the rest of the tomatoes along here are doing just fine. They just got this one. So sometimes that happens. But this is why you plant more seeds than you need plants for, and then you save a few so that you got spares to put in later on. Though I think what I may do, I think I might go buy me a hybrid tomato next time I hit the store and stick me a hybrid of some sort in here. I haven't decided what yet. I'll let you know as we go along. Now, let me show you some of the other things that are happening. Alright, so a couple of things I wanted to show you. One, my squash, they're doing very well. You can see they're all coming up nicely, starting to get their second leaves, the real leaves. Alright, got another ring of them over there. They've done very well. And I'm going to probably thin those down to about 3 plants per ring and let them go up from there. And then over here in that same garden area, I have my watermelon. Alright, so right there is the watermelon from my seed. And you can sell it, you can see it's doing very well. Hasn't started getting the second leaves yet, but the soil is pretty moist. Like I said, we just got a whole bunch of rain, so they're going to do well. We're going to let them grow up a bit, and then I'll select probably 3 of those as well to go ahead and to let go. Now, one of the experiments I did was over here. You can see that tag right there is the Crimson Sweet, and the other one over here is the Sugar Baby watermelons. None of those came up. Not a single one of those plants has sprouted. So apparently those were too old to actually grow. So I know that, you know, most people say that you know, you can keep seeds for a fairly long time, but apparently not those seeds. So I should have planted them when I first bought them. I don't know what happened or why I did not, but regardless, they did not grow. I'm going to probably let them go a couple more days, and if I don't get anything, I'll plant some cantaloupe in there. And over here, I want to show you, those are some of my cucumbers, which are coming up very nicely. A couple of plants are a little bit stunted, but they're still growing, so there's hope. It's like this one here. That thing is so tiny you can barely even see that it's there, but it's got leaves, so we'll let it go a little longer, see what happens. Worst comes to worst, I'll put some seeds in there, and then but you can see those are doing good. But I did want to show you this over on this side over here. Now, one of the things that people have talked about is my cucumber leaves are looking yellow. Well, you can see that, like, this leaf right here is looking a bit more yellow than this leaf here. Now, and then the baby leaves are dying off and turning yellow as well. So what happens is, anytime you plant a plant, or transplant a plant I should say, you're going to get a little bit of plant shock. And I think usually that's all that really is. You can see I got a little bit of discoloration on that plant leaf right there, but that's okay. Alright, you're not going to get perfection. Alright, and if you're hoping for perfection in your garden, you might be sorely disappointed. So those are some things I want to show you. It looks like those are growing well and seem to be doing just fine. I don't anticipate any kind of issues. We'll see how it goes from there. Tomatoes are looking good. Alright, and this is my square foot garden. Got some chard back there and a few other things. The basil is starting to grow up nicely. Pepper plants are growing out well. So all in all, it's looking pretty good so far. Just starting to get a few of the beans. You can see my baby beans right there. Well, if I get out of the shadow. You can see my baby beans are coming up in that spot, which is odd because I've got 4 planted and only 2 sprouted. But that's okay. Really, you know, one of the things, if you go by the square foot garden guide that's on almanac.com, it talks about 9 bush beans per square foot. I think that is ridiculous. So I planted 2, or 4 rather, and 2 so far have sprouted. We'll see how well they do from there. I might have to grow some more. We shall see. Another thing is, you look right down in there, I'm just now starting to get some baby romaine lettuce right in there. They're just starting to sprout up. So we'll see how they do as they go along. Things are coming along. Everything's coming along real nice so far. And we'll see how it does in my square foot garden. I was really happy with this last year. Strawberries are doing well. You can see over on this side I have got some gigantic strawberries. I mean, it's really nice big strawberries coming in, but I'm hoping they don't get eaten. Alright, because roly-polies love strawberries. We'll see. Some of these over here, like you can look right there, that one's already gotten munched by birds, I believe. So that's one disadvantage of not protecting them. So this spot here was my ant mound. And you can see there are no signs whatsoever of ants anywhere along here. I mean, none. All that, there are no ants in there whatsoever. I had to keep after it for a few days, but I finally killed them all off. And I don't see any other ant piles around, so I don't think they're coming back. Okay. And in here in my salad garden, it is doing fantastic. It was loving all that rain. See, everything's growing up very nicely. Might have to cut some of that dill back. The problem with dill is it can take over. Now I want to show you this. So as you're going through your garden, you're going to find, if you're pulling weeds, sometimes you'll get some volunteers. Now these little baby peppers right there, and I've got them spread out in a couple other spots. Those are baby peppers that I found in my tomato patch that have fallen off the vine, rotted in the ground, and now I've got volunteer peppers. Not sure exactly which kind they are, but we're fixing to find out once they grow up and start making peppers. Either way, I know the area they were in was just hot peppers, so we'll have some sort of hot peppers. I'll probably go out and buy another variety again this year. We'll see how that goes. Probably give me some more from the store. Onions and garlic are doing well. Fixing to do some planting over there. Just now starting to get a few of my green beans, my bush beans in this row popping up. Spinach is doing okay. And then this right here, so I've already pulled several of these, but you see those, I'm pretty sure those are baby zinnias. Once you get zinnias, man, they come up everywhere. They self-seed like crazy. Chard's starting to come back. The ducks had mowed it down. It's all starting to come back very nicely. And then some radishes on the other side of that. One of my issues has been peas. I planted peas all along here, and so far nothing. And then I planted peas all along there, and so far nothing. But over in this area, I've got one pea plant, if I can get out of the shadow, right there. You can see it up in there. And another one sprouted right there. But I planted a bunch. So I'm kind of disappointed if that's all that's going to pop up. May not have a great pea harvest this year. We'll see. So apparently peeing in the garden did not help. So that's where that's doing. Let me take you over here and show you some stuff. So far, my corn is popping up. See if I can get a good angle here. You can kind of see a little better. But you can see that row there. Then there's another row there. And another row there of baby corn. So it's looking pretty good so far. Looks like most have germinated. There's a few spots, but I got a little bit of seed left from that. So wherever I've got empty spots, I'll go ahead and plant a few more seeds and try and catch that up. And then lastly, I'll show you my potatoes. Now so far, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in there. I'm sure I'll get more. They will continue to sprout as we go along. And then over here, I've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, another 4 there. So I got 17 potato plants so far. But I know last year that was a reoccurring theme where the potatoes would come up all willy-nilly. Some would come up a lot faster than others, and I even had some sprouting as others were dying off. So now if you notice this row right here, I recently pulled up weeds in here, and that was supposed to have been garlic. And then you see here I've got the one plant of garlic and then a couple more, and then one more further down the line right there. This one right here. Now along that row I planted garlic, and in between these plants I had planted a lot of garlic, and not one of those garlic sprouted. Now this batch of garlic that's here along this row, these here in this row were the ones that I had from last year. These here in this row, all along here, those are the ones that I had actually sprouted in the house using the water cup method. And they have done well so far. I don't know if I got them planted soon enough for them to actually clove up and make nice big cloves. So we'll see how that works out. So far they seem to be growing pretty well, but it might have been a little too late. Now as to why those other ones didn't grow, I mean, it might have been, you know, I keep hearing this stuff about growth inhibitor sprayed on various vegetables sold at the store so that you can't grow your own. And maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Or maybe they just didn't grow. I did find a couple of cloves. Let me see if I still got that one over here. Yeah, here's one of the bigger cloves that I actually found. I tossed it in the garden, and you can see it just never did anything. I mean, it's set out a couple of days now since I started pulling weeds, but when I pulled it out, it was still solid and has not produced anything. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is a growth inhibitor thing. Maybe I kept them too wet or not wet enough. I have no idea. But I got skunked on that one, so no garlic at all from that batch of plants. Though I do still have, I've got this row here, I've got garlic in that row right there, and then I've got another row of garlic right along the edge of that raised bed. So as long as that continues to grow and hopefully produces big enough cloves before the heat gets to it, I should be okay, I'm hoping. Alright, but anyway, I wanted to let you know about that one as well. Alright, so all in all, man, I'm very pleased with how well the garden has done so far this year. Keep in mind, it's only the, let's see, 25th or so? Yeah, the 25th of March. So, I mean, it's getting towards the end of March. We're actually into spring itself. All of it, 4 or 5, I guess it's the 20th now, so the 5 days into spring. So, some things are doing fantastic, other things are struggling a bit, but that's going to happen. I mean, you know, anytime you grow a garden, if you think you're going to get 100% success, I mean, you're mistaken. That's just not going to happen. You're going to have things that happen. You know, like last year's corn crop and wheat, you know, that just got decimated. Nothing really happened. You're going to get seed packets that just don't want to germinate for whatever reason. Either they picked it too soon or whatever the case may be. And that's why you plant in quantity. All right, you're always better having extra plants, like with that tomato plant. Tomato plant got taken down by cutworms. Now, so far, none of the rest of them have, and hopefully they'll all survive. But if not, I have backups. I have extra plants that I've kept aside so that, you know, if I have a failure, I have a backup plant. And I highly recommend it. I mean, save some of your seedlings back so that worst comes to worst, you can always stick them in, and then later on, whoever has forgotten, for example, or just never got around to planting, you can hand them off. Say, here, I got some tomato plants if you want them, and so on. And either way, I mean, you know, worst comes to worst, you can either find a place to plant it or toss it, you know, put it in the compost. It really doesn't matter. But it's much better to have a few extras left over than to not have the ones that you want to get planted in the garden. But either way, so far, like I said, I'm very pleased overall with everything that has happened so far in the garden. Things have been doing great. I really think my soil is improving year over year. The continuation of adding compost and keeping that compost growing and producing, it's been fantastic. All right. Once again, I use no fertilizer other than compost. I use no bug killer other than my 2 fingers, and just what nature provides. So either way, this year is looking like a really bang up year as we begin. Hopefully things don't go bad. But as it stands right now, it's been a really good year so far, and I'm anticipating even greater things as time goes on. Stick with me and I'll show you as we go along all the things that work and some of those that don't. But either way, I'm going to show you how I go about making a garden and keeping my family in food. Alright, thanks for stopping by. Do me a favor, give me a like and a subscribe. Let me know what you think. But most importantly, grow something. Get your garden growing. Here in Florida, if you haven't got it in, you need to get to work or you're going to run out of time. Alright, thanks once again. Y'all take care. Come back and see me.